name is Wendy. I'm 40, almost 2 weeks to go, and then I'm 42 years old. Yay! Trying to catch up. All my friends are older than me.
Sure.
Okay. I work with a company called RTT Group. Alrighty, it's a logistics company. I'm in customer services. Okay, I have a 5-year-old son who's adopted, and yeah, I have a mother, and yeah, we're a very close family, I must say. In 2001, I was diagnosed with borderline cancer on one of the ovaries on my left-hand side, and it was removed. And then I was told that I was only clear because it wasn't cancer yet. And when all these problems started, I didn't think that it would be cancer again, you know, seeing that I was told that I was only clear, and it was 10 years later that this happened. We scheduled for a hysterectomy. But what delayed it is that the medical aid wasn't covering that because we had just joined a new medical aid. Okay, so we weren't covered, and I had to wait for 2010 February. Okay, and in that process, because I knew that it was fibroids and I was given antibiotics, the problems persisted, and then in October of that year, I was admitted again into hospital, and that's when I found that I had cancer. This was now at Christian. They did tests as well, and the week later I went to get my tests, and yes, and then I was given the test and told to either go to my gynae or my GP, and I went to my GP, and she diagnosed me with cancer. She's the one that told me that, okay, the results show that I have ovarian cancer, and it was on stage 3. No, I was the first one to be diagnosed.
So you never thought?
Yeah, my family has diabetes, high blood, and stroke. I think the therapy, especially chemotherapy, I think is more complicated than cancer itself. Okay, because I had these pains with cancer, and I got injections, and I would be fine, or I got pills, tablets, you know, and I would be fine. But now with chemo, all right, it sort of like tore my whole world apart. I had to be off work for quite a while, okay, and I was constantly sick from this chemo, you know, and in the middle of the night you wake up, you have hot flashes, you know.
Did you only receive chemo?
I only received chemo, yes. So yeah, I was more sick from the treatment than from the cancer itself. The statements that I received were 13,000 to 15,000, and that is just the chemo. Okay, bloods were about 700 at the most, 700. You know what? It sort of knocks you because I mean medical aid paid to a certain extent. You know, and I always had to go for X-rays. I always had to go for ultrasounds and whatnot. And the funds were depleted. You know, and now I had to suddenly dig into my own pocket, which yeah left a big dent. And I had to go and make arrangements with the bank that I have my bond with, you know, for what they call bond therapy. Just so that I could pay 50% of the bond and be able to use some of that money for medication and tests and all that. I joined Platinum Life, I think it was 2006, if I'm not mistaken, or earlier. Our HR manager, okay, was contacted, they were referred to her by someone. And then she gave them our names, okay, and I was one of the people that whose name she gave to. And this lady phoned me, explained over the phone, and they were friendly, I must say. You know, I've always had a good, you know, sort of relationship or response from Platinum Life. At first, I think I was covered for 100,000, okay, and up until it went on. I extended my cover to 235,000, but then because of the financial difficulties and all that, I had to cut it. And I remember I phoned them, okay, to say that I'm cancelling the cover completely. And this lady that answered told me, you know what, you do not have to, okay. you can just make sure that you cover it for less or for whatever. How much would you afford? And I told her how much I would afford. And she said, then let's cover you with that premium amount that you can afford at this. And this is how much you'll be covered for. But I would advise you not to stop or cancel it at all. Okay, and then, you know, she's the first person that I thought of when I was diagnosed. You know, Platinum Life intended to do the investigations, the doctor's notes that they needed and all that. And during all that process, you know, every second day or every third day, but in a week I would receive 2 or 3 calls from her to say, okay, this is how far we are, this is what we still need, and this is what we've done, and yeah. So far it has been pleasant. Money that I was paid off, okay, from the claim I went and paid off the hospital that I was admitted to the previous year because I owed them something like 20 grand. And I went and paid that off. I went and paid off my son's school fees, and I went paid off the electricity bills and some of the bills that I had. You know, I covered 90% of what I owed or that I was in debt with. I covered 90% of them with that money and spoiled myself a bit with the 10%. They must just go for tests. Whatever little, you know, like now I am very, very aware and very, you know, I don't know how to put it, but what I say is whenever someone says to me, you know what, I have this, and if one of the symptoms is something that I had, I would then say to them, okay, I would advise you to go to either your GP or your gynae. At the same time, ask for blood tests to be done, because we always think that cancer can just be detected by doing a pap smear. Okay, and with ovarian cancer, that is not the case. Okay, you have to have blood done and a test called CA125. Okay, and most of the clinics now offer that. You know, all the clinics that, even the mobile clinics that with people, the people that are going around with cancer awareness, or you can go to the Cancer Association. Then they can draw bloods as well. They also do it there, or they refer you to someone. But what the advice that I can give them is that every little symptom, if it's something strange and something persistent, you know, and every now and then you have the same symptoms and they're not going away, go and get yourself